Thankful to get to be out this morning. Thankful to see each and every one of you out this morning. Hope that for a few minutes, and I'll just stand just a couple minutes, and I'll get out of the way and let these brothers come. And hope, Brother James, that sometimes we get a little worried. Sometimes, Lord, what is it? Maybe that we should say, or what way? Sometimes when we stand up, we're already ready to go. Maybe the Lord's put a burden down in our hearts, and sometimes we're a little bit nervous, Brother Chad. Yeah. Struggling within ourselves, but I thought this morning when I looked out at the crowd, and I hope that you'll pray for me this morning. See, it's not about me, and it's not about these brothers, but it is about the Lord. If you ever felt like you've seen a preacher truly do anything, guess what? That wasn't when we were there, but brethren, that's when the Lord would step in. And thought to myself this morning, and how many mothers, I'm like Brother Chad, we watched each and every one, how many mothers told their children that all they wanted was for them to come out to church with them this morning. And no doubt in every church house, see, we've started this thing a long time ago, Brother Darrell. It's about when we start cooking, and I got news, I don't think it's anything about that, but I think it's about all the mothers saying, all I want from you is just come to church with me this morning. I got news for you. I've been building a home, and it's made a lot of thoughts go through my mind. Yeah. So many different things, and I thought to myself, we're building and we're planning and we're getting all these dreams and we're trying to build up, and then we'll do this and we'll do that, Brother Chad. But I thought to myself, brother, and if it wasn't for my wife sitting over here, that great big dream, all those big things that I think are so great, do you know that great big home, it wouldn't be nothing without her? It would just be a house. I think about Brother Philip, and brother, in all the plans that we had, in all the great things that we try to get and obtain in this land, brother, in one time that was a great fine home, brother, a great place to gather the children. But guess what? It's just a house now, brother, and what I'm trying to get at to you this morning, and I hope that the Lord would use me, brother. I believe He would if I let Him this morning. What I'm trying to get at is mothers who've fed their children this morning. Do you know that I look out at the crowd, and I've seen many of you come. I've seen many of you weep when the Spirit of the Lord comes in. Brother, what I'm trying to get at is, brother, don't let these things slip. Don't let them just fall by the wayside. But I got news: if you want the Lord, He's always there for me. He's always there for you. But you need to want Him, not just a little bit, not just getting a little taste when Mommy begs you, but wanting Him for yourself this morning.
That's right.
There's a difference this morning. Do you know that we all know the story of Jonah and how he was swallowed up by the fish, and brother, and how he was told to go and preach to Nineveh? Brother, but one part about it I thought was so interesting. Always after he was spit up by the fish and he wouldn't preach, and God repented and didn't tear down the city, didn't destroy it. Jonah went outside of the city, and it said the sun began to beat on him. Brother, and he sat among a tree. In that tree, God called to that though, and they hold on to that with everything. What I'm trying to get at, don't just let God be just a little part of it. Don't let Him. I got news. I've seen Him weep. I've seen something come down in York. When I was a sinner and maybe I was forced, maybe a funeral or something caused me to go out to church. And brother, when the Spirit of God would begin to move, and guess what it did? It just passed over me. But I felt it, Papa. I felt something there that I knew that God was tugging upon me, begging to me to just turn to Him. And I got news. I feel it's that way for you this morning. What I'm asking you is not just hold on to what you've been told to. Hold on to that feeling. Grab a hold of it. Want it for yourself.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Though Jonah even knew how merciful God was, he still, even by him begging and pleading, that man still preached to a city, and that city repented. Another time, a great king, a son of a great king, was having a great feast, and he began to praise the gods of the gold and wood, silver, all the things that he could find naturally sold. It said they began to worship these things, and right about that time, said it was probably one of the greatest feasts, one of the greatest, everyone who was important was there, but he said that king, he looked across the room, and he said he seen fingers of a man's hand, and it began to write something upon the wall. And it said so much that it shook him right down to the core, and he stopped everything, and he demanded, what is that writing on the wall? Brother, and there was something to it. I got news. There's something to God in your life. There's something to Him, whether you want to listen to it or not. God, I believe He tugs on men and women's hearts. But there was a long time I didn't want to hear from Him. I'll get to you later.
That's right.
Didn't mean that God wasn't there, did it?
No.
God was still there.
That's right.
God still wants men and women to turn to Him. Every man and every woman. Brother, after he turned to everyone naturally so that he could think of, finally his mother, she walked in. She said, "Oh, King, live forever. There was a man that was in your father's kingdom, brother, and who light and wisdom was found in this man. Brother, and she said, you need to call upon him." And Daniel, he came in, and brother, that king, he told him, he said that king began to make his plea. "I'll give you a third of my kingdom. You'll be a third of the rulers. I'll give you great gold and great everything that this land has to offer. You'll have it." And that man, he looks right back at him and he said, "Oh king, keep thy gifts, brother, and give your rewards to another." He said, "But at least I'll still read that writing." He said, "King, brother, and your father Nebuchadnezzar, a great mighty king before you," he said, "you watched him, who he would set up and who he would put down was in his own hand. And this great man," he said, "he witnessed him." He said, and that king, when he looked upon himself, he said, God stepped in and he took his kingdom. And your father, that great man, he said the dew out on the grass, it was his blanket. Brother, and it food, brother, and it was scarce, wasn't it? He said until your father realized who God was.
Yeah.
And whose hand that we all, not back then, whose all hands that we're in today. How many times you heard the preacher say, "Whatever your will is, Lord, let it be done." Guess what? Because you can ask and you can plead all you want, but unless my Lord says so, brother, it's going to be so. Do you want to know how many times people try to tell me, or maybe superstition sets in and they say, "I don't know if I do that, that's pretty unlucky." Brother, and I'll just have to look at them, and I say, if God wants it to be so, it's going to be so. And if He doesn't, it's not going to be so. So I'm not going to get scared over the little superstitions of this world. I've been in a place will try to teach you some funny things.
Yes, it will.
It will. It will try to make you hold on. Everyone thinks God is kind of funny, and the things that we do, going out in the creeks, are kind of funny. I got news. Look out at this world and examine it a little bit. It does some funny things too, Brother Chad. Brother, it holds on to its own things, but they don't want to acknowledge those things. Oh, I got news. I've got a great God who loves me. How do you know it? Because I feel it right down inside. Like when Mama hugs me, you can feel it, brother. And guess what? That may be natural, but just like I feel her love, I feel God's love down in my heart. That same way.
Yeah.
Oh, Daniel, he said, King, he said, your father, this great man, he said, until he realized that his life was in God's hands, he said, when he realized that, God gave him his kingdom back.
Yep.
He said, but King, he said, you've seen all of this that happened. You bear witness to it all. You grew up watching this happen. He said, but yet, here you are praising the gods of gold, wood, and silver, and the very God who your life is in his hand. You don't even acknowledge, King. He said that writing, it is this simple. You've been weighed in the balances, and you've been found wanting.
Yep.
Brother, and he said, your kingdom, which is many, it's been numbered. He said, and your enemies are coming in, and they're going to take it. Brother, and that king was so happy just to hear the words that was written on the wall. Brother, and he rejoiced, and he tried to give Daniel all these gifts and all these rewards still yet. But the thing is, the Bible doesn't say that he ever went in and repented. The Bible doesn't tell me that he went in and even acknowledged what Daniel really had told him. He just wanted to hear those few words. Mother, I got news. These mothers have been preaching a mighty message to you. Every child of God, we've been doing our best. I could put it out the very best. I could go to schooling. I could try to make this scripture line up with this scripture. But I got news. Those things, it's all foolishness if your heart isn't in the right place. You can know all of these things, and I believe all of us do know. I knew before I ever submitted to God's will. I knew what was right and what was wrong. Thank God for Mama and Papa who put a seed in me that I never asked for, but I knew it was here. Sissy, that boy sitting next to you, there's been a seed planted whether he wanted it or not. But guess what? I believe every man and every woman, they know that there is a God. Brother, even when I was a sinner, sitting in a room full of all of my friends doing things we ought not to do, even sometimes they would say God would come up in that conversation, and one by one they begin to say, I think God, he understands me. See, I think he knows me, knows how I am, and he gets me. They said, I think we're all right. I listened to about 4 of them say it. Brother, and I couldn't take enough, and my wife bear witness to it. We weren't even dating at the time. I stood up and I said, I'm telling you right now, I'm not doing what God wants me to do. And if I die right now, I'm going to go to hell. I said it, I got news. All of you are doing the same things I'm doing. I got news. There was that seed that taught me right from wrong, and I knew I was doing wrong. And as much as I didn't like it, I knew it.
Yeah. Right. Say amen.
I would love to sugarcoat it all day long and tell you how everyone is good enough this morning and we're all going to make it to heaven. But I would be doing my Lord a disservice this morning. Daniel didn't get up and read and tell the king, see all these things, now you're okay, king. He didn't tell him that, Brother Chad. See, there's still, with every man and every woman, there is a requirement. See, this thing, Daryl, he found God 20 or so years before me. Told me about him. Momo found God long before that. She told us all about him. They could tell me and tell me, but until I wanted him in my life and I began to talk to him, how would you know God unless you talk to him? How do you get salvation unless he is yours? Do you know when I first talked to him, I didn't know what to say or how to act. And guess what? I guess if I was wrong, I'm still wrong because I'm just me with my Lord. See, He does understand that part. Not I'm bending His ways to our ways, but He does know me. And He knows my heart, and He knows your heart this morning. Seeing what I found during all those talks of knowing, am I doing it right or not doing it right? Guess what? I found me a friend who was always right there, brother. And who, guess what? Every time that I needed to talk, I felt like I had an ear. Brother, and when life is too much, it can only beat me down so far. But you need to choose them for you. You need to want them. Not just a little bit. See, I always was confused. I always didn't quite get it. When I found the Lord, I started preaching 6 months later. So I didn't have this big transition of just, I guess, being a Christian and being a preacher. But I always had these thoughts on when I would watch all the preachers get up. I would say, and I even asked Daryl and Chris a few times, I asked them, I said, well, how come do you guys think that this preacher, he goes this far, or he's blessed like this, and this one seemed like he really has a hold of the Lord? What are these things? I got news for you today. It's about being satisfied with where you are. If you want God, if you don't have Him and you're dissatisfied, I don't think you're going to find Him. Just like me trying to figure out how I could be better for God, it's the same way in finding God. You need to want Him in your life. You need to not want Him just a little bit. See, I feel like my children deserve better than that. I know you feel that your children deserve better than that. So why would I want to be just this far for the Lord? I want to give them everything I can. You know, we all love our children and we want the best for them, Brother Eddie. And I found that if God is the best thing that I found, why would I just want to give them a partial God? Why would I just want to give them a little bit? But I want to know God the very best I can so that I can show them and lead them. I'm going to go ahead and get out of the way.
You've done well. You've done well. You satisfy your heart. Brother, you should come on before we sit down. Give it time. Take your time.
The Lord bless. I'll just take a few minutes and I'll get out of the way and let Brother Daryl come. Feel awful weak this morning, and seems like I've struggled to really find a certain direction to go.